Listener. Okay. Understatement of the century. It's just been a weird time for me. Okay. But I'm starting to see some light on the other side of the tunnel. And I gotta say, those of you who are here, who are listening, who've been messaging me, sticking around, you are the best bottoms in the world. You are incredible people. I cannot say thank you enough for supporting this pod, for supporting my comedy. Oh my God, I've seen the other side. Some of you are like, what are you talking about? Shh, I've seen the other side. And it's weird over there. It's weird. Anyway, I'll be in L.A., San Diego, and San Francisco this week. Some of those are probably sold out, but, try and come through. There's always tickets available at the door for people who forgot or couldn't make it because they got into a fight with their girlfriend or whatever. So come through. And then patreon.com/WHGS. We do 4 bonus episodes a month. That's crazy. That's insanity. That's so crazy that we do. That's honestly so insane. Do you know any other places that do that? No? Okay. Well, give me $1. And then this week on the pod, big guest from another big pod, my friend Isa Medina. You know her. She's a comedian. She's the host of Sounds Like a Cult podcast. She's so funny. And today we get into, my people are going to love this. We get into being a femme bisexual bottom and how truly that is such a difficult position, no pun intended, to be in. And navigating, moving from men to women to all the, she's actually pan, so everybody, in between. And neither here nor there. And changing up your game to try and make it work sexually and flirting with people. I know that's a big one for some of you guys that message me. How do I let people know that I'm gay? How do I flirt with people? I've only ever been with men. This is the episode for you. I hope you have a great week, guys. I'm truly so grateful that you're here. Listener, this episode is brought to you by Helix. You know by now that Helix is my mattress of choice. I started sleeping on it a few years ago, and I'm getting the best sleep of my life. And the reason that Helix is so good is they make the mattress just for you and your little body, my cheery querio. You just head over to helixsleep.com/gaysex. You take their 2-minute mattress quiz, and they will give you a mattress that's personalized for you and your body. And right now, Helix is offering 20% off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows just for our listeners. Go to helixsleep.com/gaysex. This is their best offer yet, and it won't last long. With Helix, better sleep starts now. Listener, this episode is brought to you by Babbel. The best way to learn a language is through immersion, living where the language is spoken natively and using it every day. But that's not possible for everyone. So what's the second best way to learn a language? Babbel. Because with Babbel, you can start speaking a new language in just 3 weeks. Learning language was always super hard for me. I was embarrassed to try out my accent in front of my peers at school, and I never really figured out how to bring my language skills into conversation. But with Babbel, they make conversation-based nuggets of knowledge so that I can actually use my language out in the real world. Plus, it helps me with my accent with its speech recognition technology. Here's a special limited time deal for our listeners to get you started right now. Get 55% off your Babbel subscription, but only for our listeners at babbel.com/WHGS. Get 55% off at babbel.com/WHGS. That's spelled BABBEL.com/WHGS. Rules and restrictions may apply.
I went to a bar and this person and I were making eye contact from across the room like the whole night.
Why is that the hottest thing in the entire
world?
world?
It's so hot. And they're non-binary, so I was like, who is that? I was like, what are they? I couldn't tell if they were like a trans man or like a woman, and they are he, they. But I was just like, okay, I just like feel so much sexual tension coming from that side of the room. And that was so overwhelming to me that I literally left the bar.
start with Maddie's outfit before we start with anything.
Okay,
you
yeah.
walked
I walked
in and I
in-
said, "Are you teaching Jazzercise later?"
Through a big laugh.
Through a
You were trying
You
to
said,
speak
you
through
said, what the heck?
that. Sorry that I like athleisure wear, okay? It's comfortable. It's hot outside.
It's so hot, and you look hot.
You
so
bought.
I
Here it is. When did you
I
go
went
to Lululemon?
I went to Lululemon like a week ago.
Yep, there it is. And now you're wearing everything that you bought at Lululemon.
Yeah, that's how I shop. I
That's
like
how
buy everything and then I
everybody.
buy
No,
it.
that's how everybody.
and wear
if
it
you
all at
don't,
once.
I like used to go to like my rich friends' places in high school.
Other side. Yeah, you got it.
I used to go to my rich friends' places in high school, and they would have clothes in their closet with tags still on it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
That they haven't worn yet.
Like you don't use it immediately. That's
Right.
weird.
No, you're supposed to use. That's actually the best part about buying anything. That you've bought this, and this is the closest you'll be to really good at yoga. Is the feeling of the accomplishment of buying
Yes.
the new thing
And that's what athleisure is for. It's for wearing it
and
and
not
think
doing
and
it.
not working out, which is what I
Yeah.
did yesterday. I was so hungover, immediately put on athleisure, went to get a bagel, came home, watched TV for 8 hours.
Yes.
You know what's so depressing though is it actually worked. You go to Lululemon and you spend, well, quite frankly, hundreds of dollars, and then come home and I'm like, I did yoga, and I'm like, is that the threshold of it costs that much money for me to do yoga? Like I could have just done yoga in a t-shirt.
Yeah, that's
But I
capitalism.
hate
though.
that it like really worked. I was like, I feel cute. I feel sporty. Now I can do yoga, and it's like,
well, that's because
it's so embarrassing. that it
invested
worked.
you
in it.
invested in the yoga.
That's how gym memberships
you gotta
work, too.
spend money to make yoga, and I think that's what they say, right?
Yeah,
Well,
it's like
you
it's
look-
like paying. Sorry, no,
No,
I'm
no,
sorry,
you go,
no.
you go.
Please don't let me cut off.
No, you
You
go.
guys should make
you
out.
felt the you
No, you
felt the compliment coming.
Yeah, then I was like, wait, what were you saying?
No, go on.
I was gonna say that. It's like when you like pay for the Headspace subscription, and it's like I'm paying money every month
I
to
will say-
breathe.
Yeah.
Like the whole point of
That
meditation
is
should
the
be like
one-
anti-capitalist. It's simple, it's easy, but instead they're like, here's 27 different courses, and also it's $9.99 a month, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, literally, I don't even need a phone for this.
Yeah.
It's like,
That's the one subscription that does not work for me. I will pay hundreds of dollars and I will not meditate. There's no way I'm meditating.
Well, as someone
used to
who's
meditate.
I meditate every day, and I did pay for the subscription, and then I stopped paying for it when I didn't feel that I needed it anymore, and I would do it myself.
You meditate? This is
better
you
than
meditating?
I meditate. No, it's true.
Yeah.
I'd be dead without it. I know you're like, this is you peaceful,
Yeah.
but can you imagine me not peaceful?
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it was bad. So
That's good that you do it.
But anyway, we're not gonna get lost. You look adorable.
Yeah.
you.
I like that you have an 80s style scrunchie.
Thank you.
I didn't even know you had a tattoo.
I do. I have a tattoo.
What's it
Oh,
say?
wow.
It says, it's a stupid inside comedy joke.
Oh, fuck
What
you.
is it?
It's so cringe. It's a matching one with my best friend, but it's like about comedy. It's so, but
You
that's
have
why
to say what it stands for.
What does it say?
it says L.E.K. Oh, am I going to regret saying this publicly? It's so embarrassing. I purposefully got it as like initials so that it looks like I could be like, oh, it's because my grandma died. And it's a sweet,
No, I think
heartfelt
comedy
thing.
joke is so much better than grandma dying.
Yeah.
But I intentionally have it like
Oh,
disguised.
you told
you know
me
what
this.
I mean?
Let them know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now it's out. Now I have to. So my friend and I have a matching one because when we were at open mics, we would like, that was what we would say to like egg each other on. We'd be like, let them know. But it,
That's
so
cute.
It's like sweet and stupid, but it also is a genuine like.
Is he
It
famous?
was
Did he quit comedy?
No,
That'd
no,
be
no.
hilarious if he
He's
quit comedy.
starting a podcast with me. His name's Kenyon Adamchick, and we're gonna live together.
Oh, great,
Uh,
great.
But it actually, on the cheesy side of it, it was like a sweet way of us trying to be like, don't pussyfoot around shit. Like, say what you mean to say. Like, say, you know,
Yeah.
like fucking, you're not, you know, if you were gonna not say what you thought, just go be a dentist. Like, you know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
right.
don't tiptoe around.
Yeah.
So it is like,
No, that's
Say
great.
the R word. Just say it.
yeah, that's what my tattoo means.
Let him know.
Let him know that you're a Trump supporter.
Oh, it's really funny.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that you're here. We're in the apartment. We're having gay sex. We're having gay sex with Isa Medina, a friend of mine. I've done her podcast, Smash Hit Podcast, Sounds Like a Cult. You're also starting a new podcast.
Yeah.
At some point. We don't know the name or when it will come out, but
It's a secret.
But follow Isa.
Yeah.
So that when it does happen, yeah.
Check out my Instagram.
I'm really glad that you're here because this is something that I think about all the time, but I don't get to talk about all the time. You'll probably mention this in your intro, but you're Columbian, right?
Oh, yeah.
There are like no Latin representation in comedy, I think is like one of the worst represented groups. And then within women,
Yeah.
it's like
essentially non-existent.
it's there's Gina Brion, and I don't even know if I'm saying her name right. There's
There's a couple,
few.
but there's not a lot. And then also like
what do you think that is?
Well, I think it's like the classic like immigrant mentality of like, oh, your parents moved to America for a better life. Like, why would you do stand up? You know?
Yeah.
But I also think it's just because like it's the people who do start doing stand up. Like I feel like I whitewash my jokes and stuff too, because it's like you can't. Stand up is all about relating to people. And if you want to tour, it's like middle America. It's like you're touring to like white audiences and like American audiences. So it's harder to like write niche comedy. Like everyone's writing about their experiences.
Yeah. I mean, Ralph Barbosa is fucking killing it.
He
He blew up. And thank God, like someone needed to blow up in that space.
Yeah. I think there's like a good amount of like male Latino comics that are like doing pretty well. And I'm also blinking out. Can I like look really quickly?
Ian Lara.
Ian Lara's great. There was this like HBO series called.
Oh, my friend Shari Diaz did that.
Yeah.
Shari Diaz is great.
And it's great because it's like literally an open call. Like anyone can submit. And then they literally give you like a special on HBO essentially.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it's helped like a lot of people blow up. But yeah, I mean, I think it's like happening. I don't know. I feel like Latinos are going to have their crazy rich Asian moment soon. You know, it's like.
You think so?
I think so. Like I see it sprinkling. I see things happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully
Behind
you're
the
in
scenes.
it.
I know. I'm like, cast me. I know I'm the white one, but it's like, but you need a Colombian in there too. We can't all be Mexican. Okay.
We can't all be Mexican is something that I say to myself every day.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being. Sorry if that was like a tokenizing question, but it's just something that I think about all the time when I'm doing booking.
Yeah.
Because it's just like
Well, if you ever need Rex, I mean, I'm just like horrible at remembering people's names, but I like have a bunch.
Yeah,
I
mean, I would take them, especially if they're queer. But that's the other thing when I'm booking for this podcast. I'm always trying to, when you're doing representation, do you want me to turn the air on, Maddie?
Why do I look hellish?
No, you are sweating. I'm so sorry to say that. I can cut it if you want. Do you want a paper towel?
No, that's really funny.
I'll turn on the air.
No,
Yeah,
no, because I'm not going to be
we should turn on the air.
reason the air is on.
I want it on too. I'm sweating
We all
under.
want the air. Everybody wants the
I
air.
also just ate a bagel with sriracha.
We're doing
on
hot
it.
yoga with Maddie right now. You're eating a bagel with just turn it on.
It was the sriracha.
It was the
sriracha.
sriracha. But there's napkins over there for your face.
That was one of the most harrowing moments of my life. You looking over it. Do you need the AC on? I'm like, oh, I guess it's visible. Okay, yeah, I will actually.
And while you're grabbing the napkins, Maddie, would you also grab that can of seltzer?
Wait, also, is it problematic that I said we can't all be Mexican?
No. What? Why would that be problematic?
Everything these days.
No, because
Also, we're not the people to ask. I don't know. I was like, you said it, so hey.
No, I think it's just like anything else with representation out there where it's like the way that the industry wants you to be whatever cookie cutter mold of what they want you to
Sorry,
gay.
just so funny that you guys are having a really serious, important conversation about representation, and I'm like wiping sweat off my face.
I don't.
Yeah, what
think
about fat representation, dude?
I don't think you.
Because
no, for real.
No, I was joking
You know
because
what's really funny?
me wiping sweat off my face is fat representation.
People message me about fat representation, which I do try to do, but I would never tell a fat person to talk about their fatness on the air.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's like how you're like, yeah, I'm booking you because, and then you call them fat. Like you can't.
I don't know.
I would never call myself fat if I wasn't a comedian because the only saving grace to that is I'm like, it's funny.
Yeah, if people want
Okay, that might sound problematic.
No.
I'm not saying that for anybody else.
No.
But for me, I'm like,
this is why most comedians are not hot.
it's funny to be a bumbling fat man.
And also, it's like like you can talk about it, whereas like other
The
people
way that
can't.
you want to talk
Where
about
you're like,
it.
we actually can't talk about it. Sorry. Sorry. It would be really messed up if we talked about being like not hot, but like you can speak on that.
No, I could
You
talk.
can speak on that.
I could talk about it 3 months ago, but I'm not going to bring this up again. I'm going through a really traumatic period, so I've lost 10 pounds, which is the saving grace.
I'm gonna be
The
honest,
saving grace of like going through something bad is that you lose weight because you can't eat.
It is.
See, but I have the
I've had
I
that
don't-
exact thought.
You know?
I have the opposite eating disorder where I'm like, I'm actually having exactly this much of a hard time. Like it's, you can see how sad I've been on my stomach, like the rings on a tree. Like you can.
Oh my God, Maddie,
That is
oh
so
my
funny.
God, you have
Count
to
it.
write that into
Yeah.
a bit, dude.
Yeah, you have
That
to.
is so funny. That is so fucking funny.
Well, I also feel like you just like
also,
you
gotta wait. So,
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Well, I was
Because
gonna
I
say,
have a bit,
I
but
was
don't
just
let me
gonna push
forget.
back a little because you were like, we can't talk about that because we're hot. I don't think like fat and hot are.
No, of
in
course,
exclusive-
of course,
You
of
just
course.
got out hall monitored. You just fucking got out hall
Like, you were
monitor
hot.
over there.
Thank you.
That's
No,
just,
I mean, I fully, of course, I didn't want to be like, cause you're skinny, cause I didn't want, that felt too loaded to put on someone.
yeah. Because
God, life is hell.
No,
Yeah.
man, you really can't
Anyway,
say the right
I
thing.
love being Mexican. No, I'm
What
just kidding.
But what I was gonna say was,
I'm obviously not saying that you can't be fat and hot. I'm being
No,
self-deprecating
I
to
know.
myself because
The-
I have an eating disorder.
okay, I feel like there's two things I have to clarify. The first thing is the reason I wanted to talk to you. You talk about being Colombian in your set, and we
Yeah.
are friends, and I know you.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's like a question I knew to ask you.
Yeah.
With the only person that I would feel comfortable bringing on to this show, talking about body image, weight, fat shaming, fat phobia, being, like talking about how there are plenty. I can't believe I'm saying this, but there are plenty of fat people who are hot and like the stigma, whatever, yada, yada, yada. The only person that I would be able to sit down with and be like, can you talk about being fat, is someone that I knew, like I know you, has it
Yeah.
in their set. So a lot of people are like, why aren't there more fat people on the podcast? I'm like, there are plenty of fat people on the podcast.
But you're not gonna like.
Like, go to the YouTube.
But the funniest part, but I think the funny,
You want to hear it in their voice? Nobody's chewing into the microphone while they're
right,
talking.
exactly, it's ASMR, and but you do talk about your weight on the podcast.
I do.
But you are, like, look, I earnestly would never call you fat because I think you're like, oh boy, I'm about to say something.
Go ahead.
We have a phrase on this podcast
Yeah.
that we use to discuss a certain type of.
No way you're about to call me that. Really?
Shh. Let me
What?
have my moment, Maddie.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I think it's my moment.
We use a phrase. We haven't really said what it means, but to both of us, I think it means the same thing, where there's like a body type with women that we're both really attracted to.
Yeah.
And it's not actually weight specific.
It's not.
It's more shape.
Yeah.
And we call her a woman of the plum. And the way
Yeah.
that this became the thing that we say is because it's like, it's almost like a fertility thing.
yeah.
It feels
it's
like a
curvy.
Renaissance painting kind of vibe.
Yeah, like being fanned with grape leaves. Like
You
Yeah.
are a woman of the
You
plum.
are a woman of the plum.
stop.
And
Yeah.
so
Okay.
for me,
Wait, that's crazy.
for
with
me,
your little-
That's crazy.
to me, like, yeah, I know that like you and I wear different size pants, but like I would never. Whereas with Kate's.
You're like, I'm not into Kate.
No.
I'm just
well,
kidding.
Kate called
I don't know who
himself the
Kate is.
fat in the chat.
Wait, is it Kate or Kate?
Kate sis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He called himself the fat in the chat and talked about his weight and his masculinity. So I would never be like, Kate's a woman of the plum.
Oh, because well, you know what's so interesting is weight intersects with gender in a way of like, I almost feel like when I'm at this weight, it's easier for me to lean into being femme because it just naturally my tits are bigger. It goes to my it goes to my ass. Like I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm happy with where it goes, but it does kind of, it's like, well, it's dressing mask at this weight makes me feel kind of dysphoric. Whereas if I dress femme at this weight, I feel kind of hot.
Yeah.
So it's like, I almost sometimes the weight comes in with me where I'm like, wow, if I was leaner, maybe I would feel more comfortable being androgynous, because I mean, like the way that pants fit me, I'm like, I look feminine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is like not the worst thing in the world, but it just is like,
And it also has,
it just is a thing.
and this is body shape, and it has nothing to do with attractiveness or gender or even sex. Like, you know, sometimes dudes have a fucking thick ass. Like,
A little too thick. I don't
You're like
think
a
men should
twinky
have
little guy?
big asses.
This is a statement to make on this podcast.
Really? You guys like big asses? Well, you don't like men
don't
at
like
all.
men.
I know.
No, but everybody's different. What I'm trying to say is, like, everybody's different. And for Kate, I know that the weight, well, I don't want to speak on behalf of him, but for Kate, there was definitely discussion about how the weight actually made him feel euphoric in a way.
yeah, I think I'm going for a different type of guy.
I feel you though on the like when my weight fluctuates, it totally affects like how I want to dress. Like right now, because I have lost weight, I'm like crop top, like all
Right,
this
totally.
stuff. Whereas like if I don't feel comfortable, I'm covering everything up.
Yeah, like I love wearing like a big t-shirt, but when and really I hope nobody takes this as like saying that people at this weight can't dress this way, but just speaking for me, like when I'm at this weight and I wear a big t-shirt, I don't feel good in it. Whereas like when I'm really thin and I wear a big t-shirt and it hangs off my frame, that feels like a cool gender thing. But it just does affect it.
Let me be clear, and I don't know if this is like, I don't know, just while we're talking about it, because I've never really given my side of this, and people really only have ever seen one woman that I've ever dated, which is Jen. And Jen is quite petite. She's just like, her bones are fucking small, you know, like she's small. But I have dated plenty of women who on a scale are like a lot.
I love
Heavier.
curvy women.
Right,
I just
like-
like don't date them because I'm bisexual and I'm like, that's gay.
That's so funny because when I date, oh my God, that's so funny. For me, it's like the opposite. Dating like
women that I'm too attracted to, I'm like, I can't do that.
really, wait, we'll come back to this.
I mean, that's huge.
But, like-
that's the tip of the iceberg. But
fucking a woman who has a body more like yours, like that is such a like, to drown in a woman's body
oh my God.
is such a pleasurable experience.
You know what's
and
so
I hope
funny?
it is. I hope people understand what I'm saying here. Like,
Yeah.
it's so much, like, I hope this is empowering. I hope it doesn't sound like, but I never, ever, ever speak about women's bodies who I'm banging on this podcast or people's bodies, specifically because it is so important to me that it's not like about my taste.
Oh yeah, like you're just talking about being
Creating a
not being-
standard of-
yeah.
Even with gender, like I leave stuff out because I'm like, it is so important that it doesn't become about objectification or like whatever. But I also want people to feel seen and like feel attractive. And like, I've dated fat women and had really pleasurable experiences that are awesome, and you can't get them with other bodies. And like, I just want people
I
to
think
hear
it's
that and know
great.
that.
It's like I literally got a boob job so someone would have something to hold on to. Like it's like I
you got
think
handles installed.
Yeah. I literally did.
That's so funny. That's so funny. I hope this doesn't. You're the
No. This is great. I'm like, so if anybody needs to hear it at home, like I'm open door to talk about this, especially here, because this is such a great.
Do you
this
think
is great?
I didn't
But
say anything?
No.
problematic,
That's that
did I?
fucking. I feel pretty good. No, but what's so weird too is I'm like, I'm attracted to a lot of different types of women, but I'm attracted to women with my body type, and yet somehow I still get the negative self-talk about myself. And what's so crazy?
That's so.
That's
wild.
It's
wild.
wild. And you know how I know it's the male gaze and patriarchy fucking it up? It's because the idea of a woman finding me attractive, I'm like, yeah, of course I'm cute. And a guy finding me attractive, I'm like, no, he'd be like embarrassed to show me to his friends.
That is
Like, it's like fully
so
only the
fucked.
male gaze. And it's not even that I don't think a guy would sleep with me, because I'm like, I'm attracted to women like me, so I know, like I
Well, I
see
also
it,
wanna-
but I'm like, but do you know what I mean?
I want to push back for a second because I think it's not even the male gaze. It's like, because I think men also find you attractive. I think it's the fucking like magazine gaze. It's the fucking,
I guess
the bigger machine.
I guess the male gaze is actually not even often the gaze of men. The male gaze is like what we were talking about before: capitalism, consumerism. Like
it's like I think
men are affected by the. Sorry, men are affected by the male gaze too, where it's like a guy might look at a curvier, heavier girl and be like, I'm attracted to her, but then that's embarrassing for me, so I'm going to default to the capital M male gaze and override my own desires.
Male gaze.
I think that's so, like, that's true, and that's like fucked up because it's like, when you feel something, it's like, why are you pushing it down? Because of, like, the society is telling you otherwise. It's giving closet.
Well, thank you for being here. It's a podcast. Hi, I'm Ashley Gavin, cis gay white woman, she, her pronouns. I don't know when this will come out. Albany, Richmond, Virginia, Virginia Beach, Houston.
Oh, I grew up in Virginia.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Denver.
People in Virginia
Other
go
places.
see her shows.
And then, as always, the hall monitor who didn't keep me from getting canceled.
Sorry, I took a nap.
The cutest gym teacher we ever did see, Maddie Wiener.
Hello, I'm Maddie Wiener. I'm a stand-up comic. I use she, they pronouns. Non-binary, gender fluid, woman vibes. I'm on Instagram at Maddie T. Wiener, and I have some road dates coming up in the Midwest, and I think I'm going to Boston. I don't know if this will be out by then, but check out my Instagram. It's all in there. And I have another podcast called Phone is in the Bag. It's a comedy podcast, and it's a good time.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
And Isa, do you mind introducing yourself?
And I'm Isa Medina. I'm also a comedian, and I have a podcast that you can check out on my Instagram, which is Isa Medina, ISAAMEDINAA. So you can check out my tour dates and my podcast on there, and I'm happy to be here.
She, her pronouns?
Oh, right. Sorry. She, her pronouns. Yeah. Those are the vibes.
Bisexual?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, you guys.
No.
Oh, I didn't say us. Yeah,
I
sorry,
actually
bisexual,
never pushed
pansexual.
back, but because I know yours, I was just gonna
no.
push back. That's a weird way to phrase. No, who are you really?
I would say, yeah.
Who do you think you are?
No, you're like, why are you really here? I'm bisexual. Hello. She, her, pansexual, really. I will date anyone as long as they're emotionally unavailable.
Perfect.
And that's the vibe.
Slide into Issa's DMs if you're...
But don't seem too eager, because then that's unattractive to me. Slide into my DMs and be like, fuck you. And I'll be like,
man,
we should date.
you and I are the opposite. Listener, are you listening to our Patreon exclusive You're Having Gay Sex? Well, here's a sneak peek of what you missed last week. You want to go to the woods?
Yes.
Wait, what's the woods? Is that a bar?
It's like on, yeah.
Oh, I thought you guys meant like literally go to the woods.
That's hilarious. How do you like approach a woman?
Yeah, how do you approach a woman? You're like, hey, I have a podcast.
Wow. That was really hurtful.
Yeah, Ashley approaches a woman at a bar by going, ah!
Wait, I need clarification.
Bro, you know that I fuck. You know I have game. You've seen Jen. You have
Now
seen
we're getting
so...
defensive.
Yes, we are.
You sound like me when you say I haven't sucked a dick, and I'm like, I threw up on a dick, motherfucker.
There are 4 bonus episodes a month of this series, You're Having Gay Sex, on our Patreon at the $10 tier, and then 2 at the $5 tier. Patreon.com/WHGS. Listener, one of the best ways to support this podcast is to come see me live, okay? It's a really great way to just support the whole team and everything that we do here. So get on my text list or my email list. It's international, both of them. AshleyGavin.com. Go sign up, and I'll literally text you when I'm in your area. So you don't have to hear all these plugs. You can skip right by them. Don't even worry about your city. Just get on one of those 2 things, and I will let you know, okay? Because there's a lot of cities coming, and I just remaking this announcement over and over again. We all think it's annoying. You do. I do. Get on the text list, you piece of shit. I was just, well, maybe this should be my story for today. I don't know. This is just kind of a bit that I'm working on. But a lot of my friends are guys. You know, I'm a comedian, so a lot of my friends are guys. And I have been really good with my friends lately about, you know, the women that they're about to go on dates with, looking at their Instagram and being like, I think this is what's going to play out, and being very accurate.
I mean, I'm imagining one particular friend of ours.
I know who.
I'm sure you're.
Wait, I know who too.
Okay.
Can I say it?
Nah.
Do I know? Do you think I know?
I know you know him.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if you know about what happened.
Oh, I don't.
But I called that from an Instagram photo. The entire thing. It did not end well. But what I'm realizing is my predictions.
Shout out to our friend. I love you.
Shout out, friend. My predictions are not, and this isn't the story I want to tell today. This is more of a bit. But my predictions are not always, or sorry, my predictions are more accurate than the advice that I can actually give to men. Lesbians can't really give good advice to men.
You just know it's going to
Straight
happen.
men, we just know what's going to happen.
It's like a train coming. You're like, it's going to hit you, and I can't stop it.
Yeah.
Well, here's why. Because my guy friend is sleeping with a woman who has a lot of trouble coming before they like know each other. And that's like fine.
Oh, trouble coming, like orgasming.
Orgasming.
I thought you were like, she's got a whole lot of trouble coming her way. I was like, what? My male friend is sleeping with someone who's doomed. That's like really what I thought you were saying.
That is so funny.
He said she has a lot of trouble
When I
coming.
say that, I'm able to predict the relationship. I'm actually just predicting the future. I'm pulling tarot cards and I know what's going to happen.
Wait, what do you think is going to happen from that knowledge?
Wait,
Oh, do you think she's gay?
no, I just think she's having trouble coming, but I gave a piece of advice and I said, why don't you just have a vibrator at home? And then my friend said to me, he goes, Ashley, straight men can't have a vibrator.
What?
I kind of understand. If
I
my
disagree.
boyfriend had a vibrator, I'd be like, awesome. If I went for a one-night stand and a guy had a vibrator, like no shame, but like I would be like, oh my fucking
Okay.
I think it depends on the
Yes.
size. Like if it was like a little the size of the
No,
vibrator. Like if
no
it was
shame.
like a
If
little,
you're doing it, it's sweet and well-intentioned, but that's weird as fuck. Because I would just feel like, oh my God, how many, am I the 5th today? Like,
I
not
guess
even in a
that's
slut-shaming
true.
way. I would just be like, it'd be like if I had like a fleshlight and was like, hey, if you want to spend the night and you like.
but you have a hand. So you don't need a flashlight.
I'm trying to think of the equivalent.
No, but
Well, you know, wait, no.
Men
You
do not know how to use their hands.
You know what?
They
No,
need
here's
help.
why it would gross me out. Here's why it would gross me out. Because I'd be like, this has been used on other women, and I don't want to use another woman's vibrator.
Oh, that's
Even
a good
if it's
point.
That's what it. Not
washed?
even in the slut shaming.
That's why the
Yeah,
size
it's
is
what
just
if he
different.
had a vibrator in the package?
Have you ever
And
brought
it's-
your vibrator to a guy's place when it's like just a hookup or one night stand? Because I have.
And I think that's good.
It's like if I want to
That's
come.
the answer.
Yeah.
So-
He should tell her to bring her vibrator.
Yeah, so I
Yeah,
think,
he should not buy one. That's
well, the thing is, let's imagine another world. Let's imagine a world where every man in society, when he turns 18, the government sends him a vibrator.
I like this
a
country.
lot of them would realize they're gay. They would get bored and mess around with it and realize it.
So true.
Well, I was thinking, like, it's so crazy to give men real feminist advice. Like, keep a vibrator in your home for making a woman come. You can't argue that that is not, like, feminist advice so that everyone is coming. And yet it sounds like he's going to murder her when you meet someone who has a vibrator.
I also
Also,
think,
there's
like,
like you own tools for when I showed
I also
up.
think
like,
you
I
should
don't know.
ask her the question of like, can you come without a vibrator, or is it actually because you're not comfortable with me, or can you just actually not come without a vibrator? Because some
Would a
girls,
vibrator help? is
Yeah.
the-
Yeah, that might not even be her thing.
Because it's like, yeah, because it might
It
just
doesn't matter. I'm talking about the hypothetical. I'm talking about the hypothetical.
Sorry, maybe this is closed-minded of me, but I understand the ick of like, if a guy was hooking up with,
'Cause
if we're in a
I-
relationship or even a situationship, that's cool.
I
If
have
one
a
night stand-
vibrator, and I have offered my vibrator to women
But
that
it
I
could-
am having a one night stand with.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you're like, here's my vibrator. Do you want to use it? The guy, I'm like,
Well, I feel like it would be okay.
sorry, maybe this is fucked up with me. I can't.
No,
That would be
I
so weird
I
to
think
me.
this is actually a really interesting philosophical
I
feminist
think it
discussion.
also makes sense what you're saying if it was like I met him at a bar and it was the first time I went over and he was
Yeah.
like, let's use my vibrator. But they've already hooked up.
Yes.
It's like it's a hookup-ationship.
Yes.
It's not even a situationship. It's like a hookup.
It's right before that. Yes.
And it's like they've already hooked up. If he just orders one on Amazon and the next time she comes over he has one, that's a vibe.
Yeah, that's cool. I think he could do that.
Well, I'm just putting it
It's
out
the
there.
one night stand. You have this for just a faceless woman you pictured in your head.
Yeah.
That's weird to me.
Faceless woman. Fuck you, dude.
What do you mean?
Women have
Faceless
faces.
Women. No, this guy. I'm
You're like defending his.
I'm defending the vibrator man, but in my hypothetical world. But
No,
then
like
I
to
realized,
me, this is like a guy who like. There's a picture of like Ruth Bader Ginsburg like over his bed, and then he's gonna kill me. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm like, it's.
And I think that's fair. And I'm not suggesting this is the way the world should be. I'm just saying it's a little bit funny that would be socially unacceptable. Completely. And there are so many things that we do in the lesbian world. Like, I am so straightforward with women. So straightforward, like on a first date.
Like toys are just super normalized in gay culture.
Exactly.
And like with men and women and non-binary people.
Yes.
And I feel like with straight people, specifically straight cis people, it is just like, why is it so weird? It's like, especially, this is why I'm saying the size of the vibrator matters. Because if he just has like a little bullet, you know, just this big, easy to wash, waterproof even, you know? And then so it's
maybe you always wash it and have it on a towel damp for the occasion.
Well, also, this is crazy. When I have an inside joke with like one of my good friends that I studied abroad with, because one time she got fucked up at a bar and they had they had a vending machine in the women's bathroom with vibrators. They were disposable vibrators, and she like had been hooking up with a guy in our study abroad program, and he wasn't making her come, and she like bought one at
That's so cool.
Yeah. And it's like so normalized in Europe, the same way that they sell like condoms. The way that they would sell like tampons here in the bathroom, they like sell condoms
Europeans,
and vibrators.
right in. Are you sharing vibrators with a one night stand?
because they're like the disposable kind.
Yeah, but maybe we
I
should.
didn't even know they made disposable.
Yeah,
ones.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
So maybe we should have that. I'm just saying. And the other thing that I was thinking, and maybe this is going to be my segment for today. Yeah, it is. The other thing that I was thinking was like a lot of the advice that I was giving my friend was just so gay coded. Like you can't be as straightforward. What's that?
A bottom.
You can't be a bottom in straight culture. Well, you can if you're a woman.
Yeah.
But like that's like honestly why I don't think we've had a female president.
Wait, what?
Wait, sorry, I interrupted you. Can you say that again?
Yeah. I don't think that women are only accepted if they are bottoms. Top women are called masculine.
Okay. Yeah,
But
you're telling me.
But we can't have a bottom president because that's why Pete Buttigieg
That
was
would
the
bring
closest
world
we've ever.
peace.
I know we need a bottom president. I'm not saying that we
We
don't
need a bottom president,
but
but people don't
want
a bottom president.
Exactly. Pete
And that's-
Buttigieg, and I know the gays hate Pete Buttigieg. Fuck off. I don't care. Pete Buttigieg got as close as he did as a gay man because he's a top. Have you seen his husband?
No.
Check it out. Hillary
Hilarious.
Clinton, top.
Yeah, she's a fucking top.
Top.
She's wearing a strap on.
Right, exactly. So a bottom.
But actually, I think she's a top in the world, which is like the way that like I feel like I present is like I present as top, but I am
sure,
like
there's
very
definitely
in the
Queer
bedroom.
icon
There's
Hillary Clinton.
There's definitely, and I love that, by the way. I find that so attractive. Like, top,
Hillary Clinton?
No.
People who present as top but are bottoms.
Although
No,
young
don't do
Hillary
this to-
Clinton.
Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Don't tell me you find Hillary Clinton hot.
No.
No, I don't think that's where she
did
was
you,
going.
You see any photos of Hillary Clinton as a young person? She's quite cute. I love a feminine blazer.
I know.
I love a top
and
woman.
I got a blazer is just my worst nightmare.
No, I'm not trying to fuck you, Maddie.
I didn't think that.
So then why are we?
Because
What are
I'm
we
just saying.
doing? What is this?
So then what are we even
What
doing
are,
here?
What are we?
I'm just saying I disagree. Blazer is
like,
not.
what's going on?
I like our weird fake sexual tension, although
Well, I feel like it's real because like Maddie showed up looking hot as shit today, and then you guys are like, "Ooh, no, you go, no, you go."
do we have sexual tension?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think we're funny.
No, yeah, I don't think
we're
you guys
funny.
are.
I think
too.
it's funny.
And then we're making sexual tension for entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, well, genuinely, I
just called-
can recognize that you are objectively a very attractive person.
You are a
but-
very attractive person.
Oh, thank you.
You're very
But-
accomplished and you're very funny, and those are attractive things to me.
Thank you. But even though I recognize objectively, nary a drop is brought forth.
Well, I feel like it's that
No,
thing where
I was trying to say that to ease the sexual. I just think we're not each other's types.
That was a really graphic and almost violent way of saying that to me. Here's the thing about me, Maddie.
Was that mean? I meant it to ease,
No.
to assure you that.
No.
nary a drop.
It wasn't mean, but would I appreciate a drop? Yeah. A drop from a friend is never unwanted.
That's true.
A drop. I'm so sorry this is happening while you're here.
No, it's great.
A drop from a friend is a compliment. And
That's why I think they're.
I would be lying to say that there was never a moment for me that you have produced a drop, and many of my friends have produced a drop. You've produced a drop.
I think the reason Maddie said nary a drop is because there has been a drop, but like it makes it like less.
Don't try and don't. The reality is,
God, I really broke
Also,
her.
the drop.
I would even. Now it's a challenge. So,
Yeah, try to
Interesting.
turn me on.
Turn that hat around.
Oh, that's doing
is
it.
it doing it for you?
No,
I don't know what gender you think you're projecting right now.
I just was like, this is the least sexy thing that well, anyway,
No,
that's
you're very attractive. I was trying to say something funny to ease the tension.
No, I know I'm attractive. I don't have a problem with my physical self-image most of the time. Of course, I'm a person, so there are days that I don't feel as attractive as other days. But nary a drop was really fucking intense, dude.
What were we
It's okay.
talking about right before? You were like that. You were like, I really like that.
I love you.
something.
I love you too.
I feel like it was now.
You
I
know what
really
actually
feel
would be-
bad.
No, I'm doing a bit.
Okay.
You know what you guys should do every time you like have this
Kiss? What?
Yes, peck. Yeah, like a quick peck. Just like the way you said I love you is like very friendly, but you guys are like, I love you.
That's the thumbnail.
Yeah.
That would be really funny.
Especially
Kissing-
for my
kissing
episode.
for
Wouldn't
quick-
that be so funny for my episode? Because it would get so many views. You guys
It
kissing.
would be my first kiss with a woman.
No, it wouldn't.
No, one time I kissed.
I can't be your first
Wait,
kiss.
Maddie, we talked
How do you
about this.
kiss? I'm sorry.
How do I kiss?
Yeah, how do you kiss?
I don't. What do you mean?
What kind
Wait.
of kisser are you?
I mean, like I like tongue. I like a little lip biting.
Are you a male kisser or are you
I like
a
a
female
grab
kisser?
the side of the face.
Oh, side of the face.
I like a pull hair a little bit.
How long are we kissing for?
I don't know. Well, I wasn't gonna do this to you. I thought you meant like in general.
Someone pulling your hair?
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah. You last time I talked to you about like your gayness, you were gonna go on a date with a girl and like you still haven't like hooked up with a girl?
I've been on dates with women, but we have not hooked up.
Dude.
I know.
I
it's-
know.
Yeah, I know.
Wait, if you're coming to this is like definitely like overdone, but like I don't go there anymore. But if you ever come to LA,
The
we
Abbey.
should go to the Abbey or Gay Astrology, really. Gay Astrology is like an
that what
all lesbian party that happens once a month. And the theme is the astrological sign of the month. It's very gay. But that's where like everything kind of opened up for me. Actually, the Abbey was the first place.
I just to round out, then we'll get to you because we're already kind of moving in that direction. And if you're sensing sadness in my voice, listener,
No.
I'm being funny. Let me have one thing. If I can't have a drop, let me have a laugh. You piece of shit.
Okay.
I do think there are also certain emotional things, like when I'll go on a date with a woman and I'm not interested romantically long term, but I am sexually and like friendship wise, I'll say that right up front. I've suggested that.
Oh,
to
we're talking about straight advice versus
Yes.
yeah.
I
right.
suggested that some guy friends are like, they're like, are you crazy? That woman will never do that. They're just
Dude,
like,
I've met some of my best guy friends like that in LA where like they are like, they ask me out and I'm like, no, but I'm down to be friends. And the ones who actually are like, okay, like it's usually with comics, but it's like, let's just be friends. We are like very good friends now.
no, but are you fucking those guys?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
When I want to have sex with a woman, but I am in an open relationship or I'm not dating or whatever, I'll say it up front.
Okay,
and
here's a
I'm
theory.
able to have those good relationships and friendships much
Yeah.
harder to say that to a woman in the straight world as a man.
I have a theory.
I think a woman to a man, easy. But what's your theory?
This is just going off like base.
This is all cis. This is all, this is outside of the queer world.
That I think just my gut response to that is if a woman said, hey, I'm really sexually attracted to you, but I think I just want to be friends. But if you want to hook up with this kind of, with these being our intentions, that would be fun. I would believe her. So I would feel safe doing it. If a guy said that to me, cis straight guy, I'd be like, you're lying to get in my pants and not have any commitment. I just wouldn't believe that was
like that they actually wanted to be friends past the hookup.
Yeah, it's like it would take such a level of intimacy for me to believe that them saying something so straightforward was real. And I know this is like not maybe the most emotionally healthy, but I think very broadly speaking for straight people dating, that's why, because it's always going to sound like a lie to get in someone's pants.
Yeah. I also think it's like less, this is definitely me generalizing like cis straight men, but like I think it's less possible for them to do that because men, cis straight men, no offense, dumb a little, you know? They cannot separate. They're like, oh, if we're friends and we're hooking up, in their head, they're like, we're dating, and they freak out. So it's like, I would almost believe it more if I casually hooked up with a guy, had no expectations, and then he was like, hey, you want to grab coffee or like be friends? Then I would be like, oh yeah.
You know what's so funny though is as we're being like, yeah, cis straight guys are so dumb. When you said that, I was picturing myself in that scenario, and if I liked him, I'd be like, we're going to coffee because he wants to date me.
Yeah. But I think that's another part
That's
of it.
also the problem.
I do think that all of this is socialized. This is not a knock at anyone in particular.
Oh, wait, can I add one thing? I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I think part of it too is the coffee. I'm like, and this is like so not correct, but like the dumb thing is like, well, men don't know how to talk about their emotions. So if he's taking me to coffee, it's really because he loves me and he like can't articulate.
Yeah, and even as I said it, I was like, oh, that could be a date. But the reason I said coffee was because it's not drinks. And that to me is like, oh, we're getting coffee.
Being straight is so stupid.
Well, the thing is, and then
it's literally like,
you
so
know,
it's so
stupid.
Well, I this is basically, I hope everyone hears what I'm saying. I'm not saying that this doesn't happen in the queer world. I'm not saying that there are no like great hookup relationships in the straight world. I'm just saying these rules don't seem to be able to cross over. We don't seem to be able to map queer culture onto the straight world, and I think they would benefit from it. You know what I mean? Like, I think it would make a better, but write in, why do you think this is? You know, like, what are some other things that don't map? I don't know.
Can I say why I think it is?
Yeah.
So I think it's because, like, in the cis straight world, it's like there's not only like the sexuality of the change, but there's like the gender. It's like men are raised differently than women, and so it's like the way that like I don't think it's biological, but it's like the way you're like raised is to think differently. So they just can't.
Yeah. And when you're queer, you always have this inkling to go outside of this world, and you know this world is not for you. You know, like you always feel a little alienated from this world. But yeah, I've just been thinking on that lately, and I think that's that'll be my gay sex from this week. And I'm still and my girlfriend, who is bisexual, we're in an open relationship. She has quite an easy time with men and these conversations. And I wonder, the open relationship, I think, obviously helps. But I also think that if you're a cis straight person hooking up with a queer person, you get a little like injection of
that's like that rap lyric that's like, how can I be homophobic? My bitch is gay.
Yeah.
Like, I just watched an interview of
it's
Drake.
another. Drake did a different one.
But he's like a British rapper, and he was like, oh yeah, like my girl is bisexual, and so that like helped me understand the queer world a lot better.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. It's like you get a little injection of queerness into your relationship through your bisexual partner. Shout out bisexual people in a straight passing relationship.
And like, hate to say it, but like exploring my own queerness has also made my like sexual relationships with men better.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I think would be
I know.
Maddie, you know what I think would be a great gateway?
I would love for you to talk about that.
Actually,
Why haven't you talked about that?
is because I figured it's so annoying.
No, it's not annoying. That's
because
wonderful.
I do.
It's only annoying because you haven't made out with a girl yet.
But I also mean it more from a gender perspective too. Of like, I'm like I love kind of like wrestling with a guy, and it turns into making out. I'm like, if that's not the most gay male thing you've ever heard in your life, like, and I don't know if that's problematic for me to say.
No,
but I do like that it feels like a little bit of like a.
Yeah.
You know.
I think that's also straight though.
Who are you wrestling?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my gay sex from this week. Cuffing season is coming up, which means that you need to get a mattress that will ensure that this person U-Hauls with you. And that's why I recommend you get a Helix mattress. I have been sleeping on a Helix mattress for a few years now. I'm getting the best sleep of my life. And don't just take my word for it. Helix has been awarded the #1 mattress pick by GQ and Wired Magazine. It's even recommended by multiple leading chiropractors and doctors of sleep medicine as a go-to solution for improving your sleep. Now, I know it's a big deal to buy a mattress. It's a very big deal. It's a big purchase, and you want to get the right one. But don't stress about it, okay? Don't stress, because you get 100 nights to try your Helix, and there's a 10 to 15-year warranty. Okay, on every Helix mattress. Everybody's different, and so is each Helix mattress. So head on over to helixsleep.com, take their quiz, and get the perfect mattress for you. That's what I did, and I absolutely love mine. And right now, Helix is offering 20% off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners. Go to helixsleep.com/gaysex. This is their best offer yet, and it won't last long. With Helix, better sleep starts now. Isa, did you have gay sex this week?
No, dude. Like, and I'm upset. I haven't had sex since I got to New York, which is annoying because I was like really getting into my slut era.
Just for background, Isa was taking care of my cats while I was on vacation and living here.
Yeah, I was living for 2 weeks. I was living here for 2 weeks.
I was living for 2 weeks.
I was thriving. I was waking up at 1 p.m. No, I'm just kidding. I fed the cats every day at 10 a.m.
Come on. I wake up at 1 p.m.
Yeah.
and I'm like, shut up.
But I feel like it takes me a second to get into like my groove in like a new city. And so like, and I don't use dating apps. So it's like really hard for me to just like casually like hook up with people. And so it's like, I'm just now starting to like go out with groups of friends. And so it's like, I usually hook up with like friends of friends. That's like the space that I work in. And
my work sort of explores like what people's cousins are up to on a weekend. The space that I work in is so fucking funny.
Yeah. And so I'm just starting to get into that culture right now, you know?
Yes, that's right. That cultural space.
Yeah, I did
the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I said this to my guy friends the other day, and they were like, that's a wild move. I was like, I deactivated Hinge and I downloaded Tinder. And they were like, that's a wild
that
move.
is, especially in New York. Depending on what area of the depending on what area of the country you're in, different dating apps are good. But in New York City, Tinder is Tinder is out of control.
I haven't even tried it in New York.
Well, I tried it, and it's a little too weird for me. That like Tinder, everyone has an Android like on Tinder. I'm like, this picture quality is like not.
Bro, if you are listening right now and you have Tinder and you have an Android and you're in New York,
unsubscribe for the podcast.
No. Just know that this is a regional phenomenon, okay? Yeah. Just because you're on Tinder and an Android, we see you, you're valid.
And also, like, an Android can be hot, don't get me wrong. Like, only because you don't...
This is classist.
Only because, like, wait.
Just had to
I
be
forgot
said.
about that element of it.
No, it's not. Androids are just as expensive as iPhones.
Are they?
Yeah, like a Samsung Galaxy is the same as an iPhone.
I think it's more the network.
No, I think it's an American culture thing. It's like, because in Europe or in anywhere in the world, the primary phone use is Android, and people just use WhatsApp. Whereas like in America, everyone's like, ooh, iMessage. But like,
You think?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
100%.
Can you have an iPhone on a like non-big, like?
I'm sure. Carrier?
Yeah.
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 Like have an iPhone with
can
like
have
Cricket
Yeah.
wireless?
Can you have an iPhone
Yes.
with Cricket?
You can buy an iPhone at walmart.com. No, it's not. I don't think of what. So when I say it, I do want to rephrase. I don't mean it as like a classist thing. I just mean it as like the
No.
picture quality is bad because Androids and iPhones intentionally battle out, and like an iPhone picture on an Android quality is worse, and then Android picture on iPhone.
Are you serious?
They do that
Really?
on purpose. Yeah.
That is fucked
No
up.
way.
Yeah. But
Wow.
yeah, I don't know. I just downloaded
You
Tinder because
can.
I wanted
you
to
can.
get
So
laid.
wait, what is this then? What is the divide then?
It's iMessage, and it's American culture because in everywhere outside of America, people use like WhatsApp.
No,
or-
I know. Yeah. Write in if you know the answer to this. Because I always thought it was a class thing. I always thought it was just cheaper. The network. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
But anyway, do you have a gay sex story that maybe you want to share
Oh.
from any period of
Shoot.
time in your life?
Well, this is like not full. I think this is just funny because it's like comedy and sex. But I hooked up with one of the first girls I like hooked up with. I think she was like the third girl I hooked up with in LA. Is a stand-up comic, and
You just make a lot of decisions
Yeah.
that are questionable.
No, I've
at
literally had that
best.
thought cross my mind too, where I'm like, oh my God, if I hook up with a woman for the first time, is it going to be a comic? I can't do
I
that.
will say it's fine. It's totally
Is it
fine.
going to be a comic and maybe
It'd
a
be only-
podcast host?
How funny would that be if a year into the podcast, I was like, so my gay sex story from this week is I was on a couch and
recording a podcast and I felt the drip. No, so like, first of all, I want to clarify, I've never hooked up with a comic other than her. So I was like, oh, if I'm going to hook up with a comic, it's a girl, it's like less problematic because like we can be civil with each other afterwards, you know? That being said, I take it like personally when I have sex with someone and they don't fall in love with me. And honestly,
yeah.
you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Is there anyone out there that doesn't look? This is psychologically not good.
It's not healthy.
I think it's an impulse we all have.
Yeah.
You want a little bit.
That's
Even though you don't actually want it, there's a part of your brain that's like, they're going to fall in love.
yeah. That's why I think it's almost healthier to be a slut in that you like have sex with someone the night that you meet them because it gives you less time for your brain to like develop that thought.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
you're
yeah,
like, how could they fall in love with me? They just met me. Whereas
right,
like
right.
if you have a crush on someone and then you have sex with them, you're like, oh, they had like all this time to fall in love with me. So what happened was we went on a date, hooked up, started hooking up. Like the time period, the total was like 2.5 weeks, hooked up a couple times, helped her move.
What was she like? What's your type?
I think now my type is really like I'm all over the place. Like I really am very pansexual in that it's like a vibe. Like personality wise, it's like I like someone that's like really confident, someone that comes on to me. Like, and if they don't, I like have a crush on them because of like who I think they might be. But then I just like I'm very much like a bottom and I'm not gonna make the first move. Like that's just
Relatable.
So it's gonna happen if they make a move.
Relatable?
For our audience.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, for you, no way.
Yeah, like you talk a lot about like the bisexual, like the girls who like look across the room and like they just like expect something to happen. Like here's an example. This is not the same gay sex story, but I went to a bar and this person and I were making eye contact from across the room like the whole night.
Why is that the hottest thing in the
It's
entire
so
world?
hot. And they're non-binary, so I was like, what? I was like, who is that? I was like, what are they? I couldn't tell if they were like a trans man or like a woman, and they are he, they. But I was just like, okay, I just like feel so much sexual tension coming from that side of the room. I
like the idea that you're looking at a non-binary person you don't really know, and there's no reason that you need to know.
Yeah.
But you're like, what are the rules? Because I don't know.
Yeah.
What, you know what I mean? Because the rules again are from this very cis hetero culture. So it's like, you know, the whole thing, you're just like, what the fuck is what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, you're like, what am I in this?
But that's kind of hot too, because it's the
Hot,
excitement
too.
of like, oh my God, there's no script and I actually just have to pay attention to my feelings
Exactly.
as they come up in my body, which is
And-
like the most erotic thing I could possibly imagine.
And that was so overwhelming to me that I literally left the bar. But
I love you. I have to leave.
I was like, I'm so turned on, I have to go home. But
That's
then
so funny.
luckily I was with a gay male friend, and when I left the bar, he went up to them and was like, my friend was like really into you. This is her Instagram. You should DM her. And they did. They messaged me on Instagram and they were like,
What a good friend.
I know.
That's so cute.
And then they messaged me on Instagram and we like started messaging, and then we got drinks like a week later and hooked up for like 3 months, and it was awesome. Great sex. Still, I mean, I guess we were like hooked up again like recently, but like it's not very emotionally unavailable person, which is like very hot to me.
It sounds like you have a lot to work out.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I am not emotionally available either right now, so I'm like leaning into it.
Yeah.
Normally, like I've been going to therapy for like 4 years, and I feel like I was about to get to a place where I was like, oh, I am going to be emotionally available. And now I'm like, oop, reverse Uno card.
Well, you know, sometimes it's good when you have a lot going on in your life, frankly, to spare other people.
Yeah.
When you know you have a lot going on or whatever.
Or you're
you
not
know.
going to be able to be there in a way that's,
I
And
felt
they have
that
a lot going on too. So I was like,
Yeah. I feel like I was at a period at one point during my sledding where it was like I really wanted to date someone seriously, and I just knew that I couldn't because I was just my career was just like, I was overworked, and I was like, there's no way. I have to like be able to afford another employee before I start dating again, which is sad,
there's
but-
nothing worse than like someone coming over for like a casual hookup and then you like unload your day to them. It just like ruins the vibe. So it's like you just like if like you keep it casual, then it's like easier to just kind of like switch into like hookup mode.
Yeah, you do. When you're casually hooking up with people, you do have to be careful about, you don't want to be closed off. But if you open up a certain kind of intimacy,
Yeah, like I think that happens with queer.
it's almost like, unless they're doing that in a reciprocal way, you really got to keep it even, because as soon as like you're relying on like, you don't want to put someone through that.
No.
You don't want to unload onto someone.
And I feel like queer people do that so much. It's like there was, when I first started dating women or just queer people in general, it's like that classic trauma dump on like every first date where like my come out story, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, I set like a rule for myself where I was like, no offense, I don't want to know. And I don't want you to know. Let's have a normal date where we just like flirt and talk about.
Did it feel like can I ask a question? Did it feel like a trauma? Because when I actually go on first dates and I ask people about their coming out story, even though if it's something that they, I'm not like, tell me your coming out story, but like, it's like, oh, does your family know, and how was it?
I think those are important questions. Like there's a difference between like, does your family know? Because then if like you don't want to date someone who's not out to their family, it's good to know right off the bat.
Yeah, but I guess I've just always thought of coming out stories as like a normal part of a first date. I never thought about it as trauma dumping. So maybe it just depends on the person.
I think it is a normalized part of a first queer date, but I don't think it should be. That's my take. because it's like, it's such an emotional thing.
I guess it's also the way you talk about it.
Yeah. Like I think, because it's like if you talk to someone who had like more trouble with it, then it's like immediately you're bonding over something that's tough. And that can create a fake sense of emotional intimacy.
Are you figuring out why people U-Haul?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That is why people U-Haul.
That's really interesting. I mean, I really, truly no comment. Like, I can't speak on that, but that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never had a first date with anyone who it felt like trauma dumping to me, or even if it did, like trauma dumping, like in order for it to be a trauma dump,
It has to be traumatic.
That's not even what I mean. I think it has to be like the other person didn't opt in.
I also mean trauma. There's also trauma bond and trauma dump. I mean more trauma bond. I think trauma bond is also bad.
I always thought trauma bonding was like when two people go through a traumatic experience together.
I think it can be talking about traumatic experiences and
I almost
bonding
ate this.
over. Because that can happen in straight relationships too.
Yeah. I guess what I'm trying to say is it probably just varies person to person, but
Yeah.
um
But that was like, to finish that story off, that was a random other story, like a side thing. But
Yeah.
the comic that
The
I
comic,
hooked up
yeah.
with, they didn't have a car. And at the time I was like just helping them like move and like doing a bunch of stuff just to hang out with them because I thought we were just like hanging out. And then I noticed a pattern that like every time that she wanted to hang out with me, it was like to do something that needed a car. And it was like, and it was like one time, this is where I cut it off. One time I was like, hey, like, do you want to hang out and like watch a movie? It was like Sunday.
how do you not have a car in LA?
I know she has one now, but also has like a fiance, LOL. But I was like, do you want to go, or I was like, do you want to go to the pool? Because I was like, I don't want to drive to the beach. That had been our activity, going to the beach. And she was like, well, do you want to go to the beach? And I was like, not really. Like, what if we just like watch a movie at my place or something? Like, I just wanted to hang out without driving 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And at first she had been like super down to go to the beach. She was like, yeah, let's go at like 1 p.m. And then when I was like, let's watch a movie instead, she was like, oh, I can't really like do that. Like I have plans later and like blah, blah, blah. And then like canceled. And I was like, so did you only want to hang out with me if it was like at the beach? And that's when I just kind of like,
Because you would have given her a ride.
Does
there.
she have no
Yeah,
other way to the beach? She has
No.
no other friends that can take her to the beach?
not that day,
It's a
I guess.
beach-based relationship?
Yeah. And so then I like kind of stopped talking to her and we remained like acquaintances, but it was like, you know, didn't talk for like a couple of years. And then she finally booked me on her show. I'd been trying to get booked on her fucking show for like,
Well, did you offer her a ride? Because maybe if you offered her a ride to the show, she would have booked you.
oh, I didn't think of doing that. Yeah. I mean, she lives, I think, walking distance from the show. But she finally booked me on her fucking show. And then I was like, you can't sleep your way to the top in the queer community. Cause like I fucked the host and it took me 3 years to get on this show. And she was like,
There's
I
not
knew
enough-
you were going to talk about that.
That is. Did you ever confirm it was the car?
No, I never confirmed.
Are
But
you guys
it
cool
was,
now?
yeah, we're cool now.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. No, we're like, I think like broke the tension with the joke on the show, but it definitely like, it was a combination of me being like butthurt that she wasn't in love with me and that she was like using me for the car. And at the time she was like very poly and I was not and am not. And
Yeah.
so it was like hurtful every time
I'm just picturing
she hung
her
out with someone
Polly
else.
as like creating her own personal public transportation.
I was gonna say,
system.
That's
Yes,
what
yes.
because now she's engaged and I don't think they're open. So I'm like, I know.
Well, it takes two people to make the decision, but it does make
Yeah.
you think, was it for the car?
Yeah.
Well, that's really, really funny. Listener, do you have some travel plans coming up? Learn to speak like a local with Babbel, because with Babbel, you can start speaking a new language in just 3 weeks. And you know, if you've got some big vacation plans coming up, you got to speak the language because you know you want to have a hot, romantic fling, okay? With that cute girlie that you see at the bar in Barcelona, okay? It's very gay over there, so you got to get ready. I don't care where you're going. You're going to find that gay spot, and you're going to use your Babbel language skills to pick someone up. And the reason that I love Babbel so much is because it uses conversational-based teaching. Like everything you're going to learn, you can put into conversation immediately. I always hated language classes growing up because I was so embarrassed about my accent, and I was never really able to put my language learning into practice. But I can with Babbel because I'm learning conversational language, and there's speech recognition technology to make sure that my little pickup lines for the girlies are coming through with an authentic accent and not this New Yorker accent piece of shit that I have going on. And don't just take it from me. Studies from Yale, Michigan State University, and others continue to prove that Babbel is better. For instance, one study found that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a full semester at college. I definitely felt that. And right now, we got a special limited time deal for our listeners to get you started right now. Get 55% off your Babbel subscription, but only for our listeners at babbel.com/WHGS. Get 55% off at babbel.com/WHGS. That's spelled BABBEL.com/WHGS. Rules and restrictions may apply. Maddie, did you have gay sex this week?
Well, I was gonna ask. I don't know where we're at time-wise. Did I use up my section? We kind of had a great conversation in my section up top. But if we have time,
we did. Did you? Well, we could do. What were you gonna bring today?
Well, okay, I got bangs, and I was having a crisis about them. No, but
I know you were having a crisis about them because we were on tour together, and you were freaking out about your
these
fucking
are new
haircut.
since then.
Oh, new bangs.
Yeah,
You're freaking out again.
well, yeah, because I got a bang trim. I didn't have like this kind of bangs, and it's a little too femme for me, I think.
Well, you let them grow out.
Oh yeah, no, I'm enjoying it. I'm gonna go girl mode for a little bit and like have fun with it, but
Girl mode.
But it is interesting because
Trying not to cry. It's
Holding back tears.
interesting, for sure.
But it is interesting because I like.
Did you ask for the bangs?
Yeah. I was like, let me go get bangs. I had pictures I was looking at. I've really liked them.
You feel that
they're curly right now, but I straightened them too, and they look cute. But it's really not even that I don't like them. It's just I like being able to like run my hands through my hair and like sit sideways and let my hair. And it's like this is so like I have to like I can't touch them or they'll look crazy.
It's so hard not to touch your bangs.
Yeah, and I'm like I don't think I can. So I really am enjoying I'm enjoying little like I'm enjoying having like a girly moment, but I'm like, oh, this is not, it's kind of affirming that I pushed it that far and I was like, this is too femme for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're finding your way with it.
And it's not even that it doesn't look good on me. It's just, I'm like, it doesn't feel like me, really.
That's good to know. And
You
I
look
like
really
how
cute.
that was your answer.
you.
Maybe that's why I'm so into you this episode.
Yeah,
I'm
because
like,
it's
I
giving
look really
femme.
cute and that's just not me.
I also like how the question was, did you have gay sex? And you like talked about getting bangs.
That's
Well, no, that's the theme.
welcome.
Maddie, I'm sorry, I'm fixing my pants, but we need to go out and you need to hook up with a girl.
No,
I have more of a discourse
the
corner
point
than
of this
a,
podcast is like we try to represent like whatever gay sex means to you. So we have straight people on the
okay,
pod,
yeah.
And to me, it means sitting alone in my room and spiraling.
Yeah. I mean, there's a market for that.
No, there is. And I honestly, Maddie, I love that you're a virgin, a full virgin who has never had any type of sex.
Send you a video of me sucking a dick just to be like, I'm a fucking champ at
That
this,
is
dude.
the
You're like, you see this?
But I would actually welcome. That would be the only dick pic that I would want.
Is with a girl in it.
So funny. That would be so funny to me to get one of those. Don't. Okay, Maddie. Don't. I see your fucking face.
No. I was laughing because I remembered one time I was like, one time I was sucking a guy's dick and I threw up and I kept going.
You kept going?
So this is what Maddie has been doing lately. Maddie lately has been giving a one-sentence summary of the funniest story you've ever heard in your life, and then being like, I don't have any gay sex stories. Fuck you. That's so funny. First of all, vomiting because you sucked a dick is gay. Second of all,
No, I think it's straight culture, actually.
Also, it wasn't like huge projectile pile of vomit.
It was like a quick,
just like, yeah, it was like I hit my gag reflex and a little something came up and I kind of just like.
I think every woman has been there.
Yeah.
Which is why I've only given head like less than a handful of times in my life.
I have to like the guy.
Yeah.
I'm not really doing that on like a one night stay, or if I am, I'm not doing it like.
Yeah, it's not a turn on
Heavy.
unless you like them.
Yeah, but if you do like them, it is a huge turn on. And I was like, kept going.
That's
you
when I
literally
realized-
gagged on a dick.
Yeah.
Did you let him know to inflate his ego?
I think I laughed about it.
I think guys like that.
That's what's so great.
Which
you
is
know what?
fucking
I used to
weird.
like not make any kind of like, oh God, this is so graphic. But I used to not make any
Maddie,
kind of like.
this is what we.
Yeah,
Listener,
No, but
write
okay,
in.
but to be fair-
Don't you love this?
To be fair, you do this too sometimes. You'll say, but then you'll start blushing over something that I think is like so benign, and you're like, we just like
Fingered
kissed
each
your
other.
thigh. It's like, But I used to not make.
Maddie, you're here on like season 3.
Wait, I want to know.
I had sunscreen in my vagina at one point.
Oh my God.
I've told some graphic stories on this pod.
Well, I
said my labia were chafed the other day.
Oh, you did?
You're not giving me enough credit.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say, I used to not make any kind of like gagging sounds or want any drool to come out of my mouth because I was like, I must look so ugly. That's so unattractive and unfeminine. And then I didn't realize that like, guys love that.
I think
and
there's
if
probably
you get, like nasty with it.
People like different types of stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe someone wants to look more like a pro, and then someone else, the guy really feels like masculine when he thinks that he's giving you a tough time.
Yeah. But you know what's so fucked up about guys is that like they'll literally be like, oh yeah, like it's so hot when a girl does that. And then like they'll also at the same time be like, oh, if a girl gives really good head, like she's not wife material. You know? And it's like,
I can't date or sleep with a guy like that who's gonna like slut shame you for being good in bed. Go fuck yourself. I luckily haven't though. I've never gotten that. Like I've been but because that's like so that's insane to me.
They still exist. They still exist. Like I was this has to be for a different pod. It's too long. But yeah, those guys exist. Like I thought it was such an old school way of thinking.
Like you've heard guys talking about it.
No, I know it from a woman, but basically like not being able to have like more gratifying, like kind of dirty sex because they're your girlfriend now or they're your wife now. Like kind
that's
of
so
thing.
fucked up.
So fucked up. I feel like I saw somewhere that's because like a lot of parents' relationships are like so sexless and like parents don't like flirt with each other in front of their kids and stuff. And so people think that like a stable relationship is like a non-sexual relationship.
Interesting. That's definitely a generational
And that's why I
thing
think
too.
Latino culture is the exact opposite because it's like my dad's like slapping my mom's ass in front of me. And it's like I haven't been able to figure this joke out, but I feel like I realized I was like at least queer in some capacity because my dad like looks at women's asses like on the street like when they walk by, and then like as a kid I was like right behind him.
Have you not just said verbatim what you just said on stage?
That's so
just
funny.
say that verbatim.
Yeah, it's just like I just
like what's that TV show, The Brady Bunch, where the whole family's like sticking their head out the door wind up? That's so funny.
Yeah.
Did you have a brother?
No.
It'd be great if there were also a
I
little
always
brother
wanted a little brother. My mom, this is sad, but not really. My mom got pregnant when my sister and I were in high school, and then she miscarried. But I think it was for the best because it helped us all pay for college. If we would have had a third kid, it would have been tighter with the money.
Yeah, for sure. Well, this was a great episode. I think.
Great episode.
Yeah. Real. Thank you for being here. You want
Thanks
to plug
for
your stuff
having me.
one more time?
Yeah, I'm a stand-up comedian. You can find my tour dates and my podcast on my Instagram, which is at Isa Medina, ISAAMEDINAA, or isacomedy.com, isacomedy.com.
Yeah, Isa's great. Check out her stuff. I'm on patreon.com/WHGS. We cannot make this without you. Please consider donating. You get up to 4 bonus episodes a month. That's crazy.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Our Patreon has nothing.
You hear that? You piece of shit.
No, Ashley's grinding for you people.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's really nice of you to say. And then I'm going on tour. I'll text you when I'm in your city. Go, don't, come on, guys. I'm always getting these DMs. Oh, it's sold out. Well, can you do anything? No, I cannot. I cannot do anything. I did something by literally coding my own text alert to tell you when I was going to be in your city. Sign up. You look frightened.
No. It's awe.
It's awe.
I'm in awe.
Maybe.
This is what it takes.
Maybe love.
Maybe just one drop.
Maybe a drop.
Great. Maddie, plug your stuff.
I'm on Instagram at Maddie T. Wiener. All my stuff's there. I'm a comic. It's just there. Tour dates, podcasts, all that stuff.
Thank you guys. Thank you for listening. My little bottoms. Little bottoms. I cherish you. I cup your bottom in my hand with love and affection. Wasn't that a good one? Oh, you thought so? Well, then head over to patreon.com/WHGS. You can donate as little as $1, you piece of shit. Hey, this is sincere. Yes, Fulton. You are a piece of shit. You are a piece of shit, Fulton. Because you don't donate $1 a month to the podcast that gets you food, bud. That's insane. Not giving nothing back. Go over to patreon.com/WHGS. It supports 3 full-time team members. It supports Maddie. It helps us with marketing. It does all kinds of the equipment, all kinds of crazy stuff. And me! And AshleyGavin.com. I'm in LA, San Diego, and San Francisco this week. Thank you so much. My gay thought this week is they found the gay gene, and they're not telling anybody because that would absolutely set off. It's like touching the nuclear button. You can't tell people that they found the gay gene because as soon as they find the gay gene, all the super conservative families are going to want to turn off the gay gene in their kid. Now, here's what I'm thinking. What if the gay gene is just the orientation and not everything that comes along with it? So they're like, oh, my kid's gay, turn it off. But then the kid still comes out like super like gay, but he fucks women. Like he's like, I'm going to get some pussy. You know what I mean? Like that kind of, like he does musical theater and all. And I know I'm using stereotypes and that's what jokes are. But wouldn't that be so funny? Because then the conservative person would have to reckon in themselves, oh, I actually don't have a problem with him being gay. I have a problem with him being feminine. Right? Like, that's really what it's about. Like, the Republican would probably be like, no, I don't care if you fuck someone up the ass. Just tighten up your wrist. Play some football. That's my gay thought. Have a good week, everybody.